dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom page of our standard 10th History and Political Science. And today we will be learning political science. In that, today's our topic is the first chapter of political science, which is working of the Constitution. Second chapter, the electoral process, political parties. Third one, then fourth, social and political movements, and the fifth one, challenges faced by Indian democracy. So altogether we have to study 5 chapters in political science, and in that the first one is working of the Constitution. The textbook of political science, in which till now we have learnt about local government, the values and the philosophy of the Indian Constitution, and also the governing structures created by the Constitution and India's place in international relations. The Indian Constitution has declared its objective to establish a secular democratic republic. Now here all the 3 words are very important, and for these words our country is known in the world. There are number of religions in our country, but we people stand together, we people live together with peace. That is what is a secular country. There is no official religion of our country. And also it has made extremely important provisions to ensure that the citizens get justice and their freedom is protected. Our Constitution not only gave us the rights, but it also ensured that citizens get justice and their freedom is protected. Our Constitution is taking care of our freedom. The Indian Constitution is seen as the means through which a progressive, developed society based on social justice and equality will be established. Well, living in the country where our Constitution guarantees us about the social justice and about the equality. चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, देश में सोशल जस्टिस बना रहेगा और इक्वालिटी रहेगी. And this is the important thing or the beauty of our Constitution. Now this one you people already learnt in the lower standards about the basic things or the basic information about our Constitution, that the Constitution came into force on 26th January 1950, and since then the government has been working in accordance with the principles of the Constitution. Now these principles are already mentioned in the preamble of our Constitution, which includes justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. And other than this also, number of principles of our democracy, number of principles of our constitution, and all together all these things always
always
always try to establish a progressive developed society. Now in this topic we have to discuss about the democracy, social justice, and judicial system. So one by one we'll study this in detail, and the first point here is democracy. This word is very common, very famous, and whenever we talk about country like India, then the word democracy is very important. As I told you before, again we can say that we people or India is known for its democracy in the world. So the points which we have to cover under the heading of democracy, that is political maturity, then right to vote, right to information, then decentralization of democracy. All these are the pillars of democracy, we can say, or all these things strengthen our democracy. This now the first one, political maturity. Now here the word maturity is very common. While chatting or talking with our friends, we most of the times use this word maturity, that he is not mature or she is not mature. But here this word is with the politics and it became political maturity. Kind of political understanding. One who knows the political rights, political duties, then we can say that it is all about the political maturity. Democracy does not merely imply a representative structure. Now, about our democracy, we know that we elect different members and we send them in the different houses like Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha,
but not directly in Rajya Sabha
Vidhan Sabha,
of different states.
and they represent us there in the house. They put our questions there, they put our issues there, they put our problems there. But it does not mean a representative structure only. The essence of representative system is to integrate the principles of democracy in actual practice. सिर्फ बोलने में नहीं, एक्शन में दिखना चाहिए. That is what is integrate the principles of democracy in actual practice. The Indian people, as we know, have direct representation in the parliament. जैसे हमारे एरिया में कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसीज है, उसमें से हम लोगों को चुन के देते हैं, फिर वो पार्लियामेंट में जाते हैं एंड देयर दे डिस्कस, डिबेट and they make rules or laws for the country. Not only in the parliament but in state legislature and in local government,
who have right to take decisions and make policies.
and then the Indian people not only elect the people but they ask questions. Holding free and fair elections at regular intervals is an important indicator of India's successful democracy. हर 5 साल के बाद इलेक्शंस आते हैं and at that time we people raise our questions, we people ask
questions and demand
answers. And all these things make our democracy strong. The increasing participation of the people in the political process and political competition shows that Indian democracy has become successful to a great extent. पूरी दुनिया में इंडिया की डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में बोला जाता है और ये इसलिए बोला जाता है क्योंकि आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस हर 5 साल बाद हमारे यहाँ पर इलेक्शन होते हैं और इलेक्शंस फ्री एंड फेयर होते हैं एंड कंटिन्यूसली द नंबर ऑफ वोटर्स also increasing, and all these things shows that Indian democracy has become successful to a great extent. Then the democracy, next to the political maturity, it is right to vote. The Indian Constitution had made the provision of right to vote for adults. Now the concept of adult,
that is adult suffrage,
the age limit which is
giving right to vote,
it was 21 years but now it is 18, and because of this 18 it gave opportunity of political participation to the young generation in the electoral process. But if we talk about the pre-independence period, several provisions existed which restricted the right to vote. Only rich people or the people with something special, it may be in the form of property or knowledge or anything else, ऐसे ही लोगों को वोट करने का अधिकार था. But our constitution gave us this important right to vote without any kind of discrimination. कुछ नहीं देखा जाता है, आप कौन सी कास्ट के हैं, आप कौन सी रिलीजन के हैं, आप कौन सी जगह से है, आप अमीर है या गरीब है, आप क्या काम करते हैं, it doesn't matter. If you are an Indian citizen, you have right to vote. आपको वोट करने का अधिकार है. The voting age was later reduced from 21 to 18, and this gave opportunity of political participation to the young generation in India, and such provisions have made India the largest democracy in the world. India has the largest number of voters compared to any other democratic nation. दुनिया के किसी भी डेमोक्रेटिक नेशन से अगर हम कंपेयर करेंगे तो इंडिया में नंबर ऑफ वोटर्स सबसे ज़्यादा है. And this is not only the quantitative thing, but it is qualitative also, because we can see in the different states or at local level many new political parties are emerging with the active support of young voters,
which is result of political awareness or political maturity among the young generation.
And the next one, decentralization of democracy. As you can see on the screen image, in which centralization versus decentralization is explained with the help of figure. Here this one is of centralization, where only one person is important. Decision making or policy making, everything is in the hand of only one person. But what about this? Decentralization, where people come together, sit together, discuss together, and then decide, and then take decision. This is the decentralization of democracy. Decentralization of power is central to democratic government. And this thing is very important because check or control is very important. Decentralization controls the misuse of power and also creates opportunities for political participation for the common people. If it is in the hand of only one person or of an institution, then they can use it as per their policy, as per their thought process, or for the benefit of themselves only, or the people related with them. But when it is decentralized, it is not in the hands of any single person, then there is no chance of misuse of power. And also it creates opportunities for the common people. As we know the definition of the democracy, which is power to the people. The directive principles of state policy include the provisions for democratic decentralization. And one such important attempt is the 73rd and 74th Amendment to Indian Constitution, which gave a constitutional status to local self-governing institutions and also increased their powers. You people already have learnt about the local self-governing institutions in the 6th standards civics. So in the decentralization, power is decentralized, rights are distributed, and to take decision, to make policy, it is binded to the people to sit, to discuss, and then take a decision or make a policy. So the decentralization of power is very important feature of democracy. Then in this, the next one, RTI, that is right to information. The government of India gave the right to information to the citizens of India to ensure transparency, again the very important word, transparency, and accountability, which are the hallmarks of good governance. What one need to
know about standing democracy or about
for good governance, transparency is important and accountability. These two words which are very important for good governance. Right to information has made the government more transparent and has reduced the element of secrecy in the working of government. As a common people, as a citizen of India, you are eligible. Yes, this word we can use here. You are eligible to ask question to the government. You can raise your voice You can raise your question with the help of this right to information or by using the power of right to information. Because citizens have a right to know about the functioning of the government. Because we are sending our representatives there in the parliament, and they are working for us, they are working for our country, they are working for betterment of people of the country. And then it is very common thing to have a right to know about the functioning of the government. जो लोग हमने चुन के दिए हैं पार्लियामेंट में हमारे लिए काम कर रहे हैं, वो क्या काम कर रहे हैं, किस तरह से काम कर रहे हैं, वो जानने का हक, वो जानने का अधिकार हमें है, और वो अधिकार हमें राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन के तहत मिला है. After the year 2000, the whole approach towards democratic reforms has changed. Democratic reforms are considered as rights of citizens. Democratic reforms are considered as rights of citizens. Accordingly, citizens in India have got right to information, right to education, and right to food security. These rights have strengthened democracy in India. Because when we use the word democracy, all these things or all these elements or all these related words are together important as democracy. Now in the next session, we'll talk about the social justice and equality, policy of reservation of seats, the Scheduled Caste and Tribes Act, provisions for minorities, laws relating to women and provisions for representation, and the role of judiciary. So this was all about the working of the constitution, and in that, democracy.
Click the subscribe button right above your video and press bell icon to get notification.
So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.